Good evening, Wednesday, the 30th of December. This is episode 18 of So What's Been Happening. It's been a little while, midweek, another Wednesday night. Lovey, here he is. G'day, Lovey. How are you, mate?
How are you, mate? Hope your Christmas went well and all the rest of it.
Yeah, it was, mate. My Christmas was pretty good. Off down at Venus Bay at the moment in Gippsland, Victoria.
Yeah,
What's been happening with you? Whereabouts are you?
Yeah, we touched down, if you like, down at Rye yesterday, and me personally had a hit of golf today up at Long Island. So the third national course now.
Yeah, right.
In Frankston. Very, very nice little pocket of Frankston, I'll have you know. It's just a great day for it, and caught up with a couple of mates that I hadn't seen for quite some time. So, we know what this podcast is. It's all about that sort of stuff, and yeah, it was brilliant. And down here for the next, I think down here till Saturday. So here for the Rye New Year's Eve rush. Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be. I'm sure if they're not down there, they'll be travelling tonight in the next 24 hours.
Oh yeah.
I saw some touch and go news. They just announced on the news before about a COVID case in Melbourne, so that's a bit of a worry. Or three cases, I think they said, outside of the quarantine, which is a little nervous moment for Melbourne, no doubt.
Yeah. So it was Mentone, Hallam, and Mitcham, one in each of those suburbs. So. Yeah, well,
all snuck down, as we know, snuck down from Sydney, no doubt.
Yeah, how dare they? They do it to us all the time. Sydney people, I don't know. I'm joking, by the way.
Yeah, it's all right. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. We were kind of expecting it, I suppose, after they kept the doors open for a while. Didn't shut down maybe quick enough. But look, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we've learned from our mistakes in that one.
Well, for tracing's up to scratch, we should get this hopefully done quick and very, very quick and out the way.
That's right. So we last week, just a little recap on last week, which was Rusty Brown from Electric Mary. He jumped back on and had a chat to us about what's been going on with him, what's been going on with his mentoring program. He's been inside the circle. I know we all got a bit out of that. Look forward to chatting to him again.
Yeah, that was really good last week. I really enjoyed just catching up with like a local muso. Like, we all get a bit caught up in all the commercial stuff, so it was nice to hear from a guy that does the rounds, works his butt off, and I think it's really good. It was really good that we get to speak to someone like that.
Yeah, I think we've been super blessed to have plenty of artists on. Over the last, what's it been, 3 months in and out of this experience, and one guest, a special guest I've been chasing for a while, a good friend of mine, Laura Davidson, is a super talent, and obviously we get to have our first female live guest on, which is exciting for tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait. Different way of music, different way of going about things, and it should be good. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Laura's definitely had an interesting journey, multifaceted, plenty of genres she covers. So let's just give it a couple of seconds to see if we can get Glenn on the line, which I don't think. Let's see if she's a chance this time to come up on his video. Look out. He might actually have some action this time. Let's see how we go. Try and bring him in. Glenn, how are you, mate? We got you this time?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I've got you now.
Beautiful. Lovely to see your beautiful head, Alan. Can they hear me?
So we've got Lovey. Lovey's on mute. He's good now.
I've just come inside because there's been a
that noise is terrible
on our property out the back, and all of a sudden it's caused a bit of a kerfuffle out the back between the guy on my brother-in-law on the phone and the guy on the other side of the fence. So I'll come inside for a couple of minutes just to make sure we keep this PG as best we possibly can.
Right. Well, good news is I didn't hear any of that, so we're all good. We're all good.
Oh, and then Glenn's gone again, is it?
Yeah, I think so. So there's no doubt it's going to be a bit of a challenge tonight. The internet's dodgy in a few different places. I've got a brand new computer, so I'm hoping that's going to hang in there too. I know this is probably tech. The tech nature isn't exactly high on our schedule, but this is why we did this, and we don't get to edit this. This goes live, and this is how we do it, and this is how we roll. And it's been a bit of fun along the way, laughing and banter of who's got the worst tech skills. So it's good to see it's not you, Lovey, tonight.
Here we go. It's happening again.
Right, in true form. We might have a punch on over the back fence there somewhere. That'll be good value. So why don't we get into a bit of music now, and let's bring on our guest. Look, the very quick intro is, as I mentioned before, Laura, a super skilled, talented artist. She's got a special guest with her as well. I've known Laura a long time, and I've seen Laura grow as a musician, no doubt. And she's, as I mentioned to her just before, I think she was one of the only musicians that hasn't done the lockdown special and probably took some time out to rest up, save the vocal cords, and think about a different part of life, I'm sure, no doubt, with a young boy. So let's bring on Laura and let's have a chat. How are you, Laura?
Yeah, good. Can we just be
Good
clear
to
that
get
it was my young boy, my child?
What did I say?
Something about thinking about a young boy.
No, definitely. Well, if that's how it came out, that definitely wasn't how it was intended.
My young boy.
No, your young boy. That's right. That's right.
Hey, can I just say
No.
through the intro too, there was a fair bit of it cut out a lot. So the sound was a bit funny, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have some luck.
Righto. We'll see how we go.
Again, hi Laura, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Again, that whole cutout thing, I'm hoping that's me manually cutting things out, because again, I've got a funny, interesting little thing that's happening over the other side of the fence here. So it might have been me deliberately, who knows?
I think it's because I suck with technology. I did get a warning that I didn't have the latest version of Safari or something, so they said this might happen. That's my fault.
No, not at all. Not at all, Laura. All right.
What's
Yeah, it is a
going
bit.
in your neighbour's yard over there, Lovey.
Hang on a sec, I'll try and show you.
There's a bit of live action from
Right.
that. Right. Yeah. Let's see if we can get some action over the fence, Lovey.
I'm calling the video right now. Hang on.
I need subtitles. I can't make out what they're saying, but I can just hear noise.
No, there's no real noise at the moment, but it's nothing like the back streets of Rye.
I live in Laverton, so there is things like the back streets of Rye.
It's kind of pretty normal. Just wait till the glasses get stuck and thrown over the fence. It's only early days, Lovey. New Year's is tomorrow, and it could get a bit messy.
Things are a lot different when you go on holidays.
Yeah, well, the good news is we can't hear much of it, so just plough through, mate. Plough through. All right, let's go back to Laura for a second. Sorry, Laura, how are you? All right,
Okay.
tell her. Yeah, good, mate. We haven't caught up for a while.
Yeah.
We haven't caught up for a while. It's been a while.
I really embraced the hermiting lifestyle through lockdown. So you're not the only friend I haven't caught up with in quite a while. I've sort of, I don't know, taken the time to just do a bit of solitary stuff. Sometimes that's a good thing, other times not, but it's all, part of the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a lot of things happen with me, and I really struggled through that lockdown period. Actually, sorry about that really crackly audio. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but yeah, I really struggled through that lockdown period mentally more than anything. Not being around people. We had family at home, but we had that no outlet to get out and about, and I really struggled with that. And obviously, live gigs and everything is one thing that I love going to. So I'm very much a 2 or 3 gig a week person out there supporting live music, and really thought about that angle as well, right? And that was always going to be an issue coming out of lockdown, regarding pubs and clubs closing, venues closing, also then participation crowds, and how many people you can have in venues. That was always going to be a stretch and a struggle, but it looks like it's bouncing back fairly quickly. Hopefully we can stay like that for a while.
Yeah, it's funny, like I said, I really have embraced the hermiting lifestyle, and I don't keep up with where we're at with restrictions and stuff. My mum keeps her eye on that and just tells me what I'm allowed to do, because I find it all a bit overwhelming, and it's probably a bit ignorant, but it was my way of being okay with this situation that I had absolutely no control over. So, it just worked for me. Oh, can't hear. I'll be
Kind of muted. So the difference, we're trying to get all these gigs and venues up and going again. So it'll be interesting to hear kind of what you've got coming up, if you've got anything coming up now in the next month, or you're waiting for the crowds to be allowed back in again.
I haven't chased any work as yet, which reminds me, I owe an agent a phone call. Sorry, Mark Burchett, I will call you back. I've had a few gigs. I think I've done 6 or 7 gigs since lockdown ended, which so I've been very lucky. I've got one tomorrow night in Altona, just in View Street, out front of Mosaic Restaurant. But it's like they've got a courtyard, and then the street's all pop-up park, so you don't have to come and book a table or anything, and that's free, and it's at 9:30 in Altona. And then I've got a couple of others later in the month. Arco Bar in Heatherton, who have been really good in supporting live music, particularly since lockdown ended. They had live music every night this year after coming out of lockdown. So thanks for that, friends. And I think my next gig there is the 22nd of January with Robbo.
Yeah, that'd be great. So we'll talk about diversity of your music in a minute, but why don't you, so I can audio settings a little bit, why don't we start with your songs? Why don't you give us a little intro into it?
The sound's gone crackly. Did you say do a song? You can just go.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, start with that.
Right. Thanks. This is a Skyhooks song called Crazy Heart, which is one of my favourite Skyhooks songs. I've been known to have moments on stage during this one, and I think it's really important that I do one of their songs to acknowledge that band, and in particular Bob Starkey, who got me on board to sing all their stuff in his Skyhooks show, and that really opened up a lot of doors for me. So that's why we do one of those. And this is one of my best friends, Andrew Leach, otherly known as Leachy, who just says yes to pretty much any musical project I ask him to do. So thanks for coming.
Yes.
Oh, welcome.
This is Crazy Heart. So sitting on the other side of town, but I don't have much money there, so I shouldn't hang around. Ask me a question, and I catch the archer, but I've got no right to be jealous about the bruises on me. It's just my crazy heart. It's just my crazy heart. It's just my doesn't know me. She's only 17, and she's just got out of high school. She's searching for a dream. I see her every day, hanging out on the beach. I'd like to be so close to her, but she's something I can't reach. But oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Just won't let me stop. Talk, can't you hear my heart? Pounding out for you. Tell me when you got a moment. I could show you some view. So many guitar beats. Yeah, it's like a strange town. Gotta get from A to B. Right now I gotta find my way, but I wish it wasn't up to me. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Just won't let me stop. Jackie, she's a tennis star. She travels the world alone. She sometimes has me up whenever she gets home. She's meeting lots of people. Says she's having a ball. But I ain't with no doubles, and I ain't scoring a ball. So, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Just won't let me. Oh, it's my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's my crazy heart. Just won't let me stop.
Beautiful. That is
Thanks.
beautiful. Absolutely. The audio is quite crackly, and it seems to be coming a little room. So I'm not sure if you maybe push it. I'm not really sure. Lovey.
There we go.
I got you, mate.
Got the gist of it,
All right.
despite the crackling.
I might get Laura.
Gist of that.
Yeah, mate, it was great. It was absolutely great. And it's such a problem, issue that there's that little audio glitch that we've got there. So just maybe at Laura's end, if she can just move that phone a little bit backwards. We weren't getting it at all just during a test we had just before, and then typically we go live there and it all starts crackling. But you can do when it's all live. Not sound engineers, and we haven't got all the gear, so we'll just work through it. But as you know, mate, that what you've just heard then Laura's voice. Absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely. It's very different to what we sort of hear and saw from Rusty last week, but two extremely talented people. But Laura, yeah, that voice was just amazing. It's hard to ignore the crackling. And now we've got other crackling in Glenn. So Glenn's finally come back. Well done.
Yeah, how we going, Glenn? Have you ordered your fish and chips, or what's going on there?
Did you move to Greensboro where there's civilization instead of Montmorency? What's going on?
Mate, as I've told you both before, the internet in Ocean Grove, mate, all I can say, free plug to Optus, Telstra, or any internet provider, get it sorted.
Yeah.
So we're with
right.
Optus, we bought a Telstra dongle, and we still can't get great coverage.
He's blaming the tools again, Aaron. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, you've taken...
Alan, if you could speak to Jack and Jody, Jack and Jody are far more tech saver than I'll ever be, and they've both had a dash at it. And a few choice words may have been said by both of them, with reason too, because I just got a little bit frustrated that it can't be that hard to connect the computer and get a camera and put my ugly mug on TV or on camera.
TV.
But we seem to have a few issues, so I've reverted back to the phone.
All right. Well, let's...
I don't know whether, as mentioned to you earlier, we went out for a band last week, and this one of the ladies who came to watch the band said to Aaron and I recognise you two from your podcasts.
You famous again.
Fame.
You famous again, are you?
Fame has finally reached us.
Unbelievable. Can we get Laura back on as instead of?
Yeah, let's. We've had a little move, so let's just give this a go. How are you, Laura?
Yeah.
We've got some kind of, but I think it might just be internet connected. Not be too much we can do about it.
Running over a really long sheet of bubble wrap.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
It's the height of
Yeah.
the copy in the microwave.
Oh, don't.
That's right. It's things musicians hate. We can get away with it, but they definitely hate it at your end. All right, we're going to battle through. There's not much. I don't really want to pick this up and try and... Do you think we should? Let me see what I can do here. Yeah, I know. It feels like some bad 80s breakdance.
It was miming. Mime artist.
All right, one second. Is that sound any better?
That sounds a lot better.
Okay. Just played with the magic button on your end that says echo
good.
cancellation. So let's just see how that goes.
I don't know. We all just gave up talking at the same time.
Whoa. Okay.
We still got you, Laura?
Something.
You're hosting now.
Now we've gotten rid of those guys. No.
All right. How we go, Laura? We got you?
Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, Laura. Can you hear us?
We can hear you.
I can't.
Laura.
I don't know whether. Oh, hello.
All right. We've got Laura. You must be coming in and out of the internet. So do you want to try and log? Do you want to try and log back in, Laura? All right, we might try and get Laura to log back in again.
I love how we're a G20 country. We can't get this sorted, but it's still Glenn's
I know,
fault.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sadly, this is one of our best, most beautiful guests, and I've been trying so hard to get her on, and all of a sudden then this happens. So,
and
let's
the
just see
most
if she can try and
unfortunate
log
thing,
back
we've
in.
worked hard to get a lovely lady performer to come on, and this is what we've pitched up for her.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, what can I say? Hopefully Laura comes back in a minute. So because no one wants to see our ugly heads,
Merry
let's face it.
Christmas.
So. Yeah, mine was good. Short and sharp, mate. Short and sharp. After Boxing Day was
Two
over
bald
before we
blokes
knew
with
it, and
glasses.
we're almost at New Year's.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, Cuz,
Can
I was
we,
just saying,
can we, and keen to get Laura back on, obviously.
I think we've got delays left, right, and centre in this.
Sorry, mate, I lost you.
No, you're right. Oh, jeez. Is it just
All right,
us 2
let's see
hours?
how we go in a second. Yeah, it looks like four's down to 2 now. So let's just see. We'll try and get Glenn back in a minute. Just a quick shout out to a good mate of mine who's dialing in from Canada. Hopefully, we've had some bad audio over time, mate, but this has probably got to be one of the worst we've had. So yeah, Kerry from Canada, the Gooch. How are you, mate? Welcome to the show. Naomi jumped on and said hello. Hey, Gnomes, good to see you. And Stephen Lotherington said hello, Laura, from Stephen Amanda. So let's just see if we can get Laura back on in a second. Glenn, let's just try you again. How are you, mate?
Hello.
All right. Let's give that a go. How are we?
Oh, we're there.
Are we in?
We're there.
We're in.
That sounds
You're back.
awesome.
We tried a different phone.
Okay, this is a winner.
You sound a lot clearer.
This is a winner. All right.
Oh,
Now,
that's much better.
I don't want to kill the whole vibe of where we were and the show, but why don't we do that song again?
Or we could
Why don't we do
just
that song again? Because that song was too good to just be so crackly and then not used later. So
Oh,
can we
cool.
roll that again? Is it you
Yeah, I
guys cool
love
with that?
song.
Absolutely. So why don't we take it from the top, and Laura, let's re-intro that song in.
What about all the piffle I said before it?
Yeah, we'll just put it up live anyway. It's all part of the fun. We'll make it work.
So should I say it again or not?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Oh,
So, yep, after you. Go for it.
Oh.
We've got a little bit of a delay too, so we'll work through that.
I just thought we should start with a Skyhooks song because singing their songs and through meeting Bob Starkey has opened up a lot of doors, and I love their music so much, even though the lyrics were a bit of a bugger to learn. But that's probably, Greg McCainch probably did that on purpose so no one covered them, but I like a challenge. So this one is Crazy Heart by Skyhooks. Oh, and this is Andrew Leach. Suicide in a bank on the other side of town, but I don't have much money there, so I shouldn't hang around. I ask the odd question, and I cash the odd check, but I got no right to be jealous about the bruises on her neck. It's just my crazy heart. It's just my crazy heart. It's just my crazy heart. Just won't let me start. Allison doesn't know me. She's only 17, and she's just got out of high school. She's searching for a dream. I see her every day, hanging out on the beach. I'd like to be so close to her, but she's something I can't reach. It's just my crazy heart. just won't let me stop. Ah, can't you hear my heart pounding out for you? Remember me when you got a moment or two. I can show you a few. Yeah, it's like a strange town. I gotta get from A to B. Right now I gotta find my own way, but I wish it wasn't up to me. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Just won't let me stop. Jackie, she's a tennis star. She travels the world alone. She sometimes calls me up whenever she gets home. She's meeting lots of people. Says she's having a ball. I ain't winning no doubles, and I ain't scored a ball. But oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Just won't let me. Oh, it's my crazy heart. Oh, it's just my crazy heart. Oh, it's my crazy heart. Just won't let me stop.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks for coming.
Nice one.
Beautiful, guys. That was great. So
You
much
went
better
Thanks,
that
Laura.
sound.
Thank you.
All right,
So much
let's
clearer.
so much
Nice to
clearer.
meet
So
you,
so
Laura.
much
I'm
better.
Glenn.
Hi. How are you? You look a bit like Louis Theroux.
Oh, don't give him anything. Don't give this guy nothing, please.
Please give me something, Laura. Give me something.
Louis Theroux is just a nice, like, you know, it's good. It's not like amazing, but it's a good thing.
That's better.
Did I play the game? He's great. Louis Theroux's great.
Well, I missed it. I missed it. So I missed out the actual description. I heard that I look a bit like.
I'll tell you later. All right, what do you want to know?
All right. So obviously Glenn's got a bit of delay down there, so we need to work around that. But so the sound is so much better than where it was. So a few people have had a quick shout out with a friend of ours and yours, I think, Laura, who came and see one of your shows, Naomi.
I'll be the judge of that.
It's been to a few of your shows. And Stephen Lotherington has just said a quick hello.
Hey.
So there's a few people jumped on that you know.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine's jumped on from Canada and said a quick shout out. So we're getting all the way over to Canada this morning,
Hey.
or this evening over there. I better shout out quickly to my beautiful wife and sister who've said a quick hello, who are watching in another room. So that's great. And my good mate of mine, Berkey's sister, Sarah, has jumped on and said amazing. So there's no doubt, Laura, you're a special talent. I've always told you, and you always one to be, you'll take the compliments, but you never stand up there and say you are any more special than anyone else, I'm sure.
Oh, that's because I'm not. I'm just
That's right.
yeah,
You're a
just a
multi-talent, no doubt.
yeah.
So just tell us a little bit quickly about. Let's go back a bit first, and let's start kind of at what age can you actually remember then when music kind of first gripped you, and what kind of was it? What was at home? What was being played?
Yeah,
Where did it start for you?
definitely. Record player was on top of the TV set in our tiny little house in a town called Nabiac, which has about a population of 2. And we had this Beatles record, Beatles Essential, and Love Me Do was the first track on the album, and that was just that whole album. Just I still have it, and that's one of my earliest memories. Apparently, my first song that I used to sing was "Let's Get Physical," which is funny because I can see how it goes now. But my mum will vouch for that one. I know, but I've always loved music. I always put on shows for my family, much to their horror. I'm assuming. But growing up in the country, I didn't really think it was a thing I could do for a job. So yeah, but I have always loved it.
So when you were growing up, did you get that classic? So what are you going to do, or what's your real job going to be? When you had a little bit of aspirations to be in that music space, even as a youngster?
No, I didn't. It just was not entertained as an idea. So I literally didn't entertain the idea of being a singer for a living until I was 18 or 19.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I was a bit of a late bloomer compared to the city kids, but it just wasn't an option up there. There were 2 chicks in the town that could sing, and they would get all the footy club gigs and stuff. And they only knew they only did a song. So I started off in hospitality. I actually moved to Melbourne the day after high school finished via Sydney for a couple of weeks to get pretty messy with one of my girlfriends, Shirly. And then I decided to I should really keep going because it was not going to end well for our livers. Started off at William Anglis in hospitality management, and then someone heard me, my housemate heard me singing in the shower. I'd have a couple of red wines, and she was like, "What are you even doing?" A bit of a nudge from one of my aunties, Auntie Wibb, and then a contact. I wanted to get a microphone, and my uncle Hack asked the lads down at Power Station in Buckhurst Street, and they said we'll give her a sure beater if she auditions for our band and gets it. So that was it. That was just over 20 years ago, and it started there. So, and it's Hack's birthday today too, so he'll be absolutely legless right now, but hopefully he can catch up on it later. So thanks for that, Hack.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that name brings back some good memories. Power Station back in the old days. It's great.
Yeah.
We're going back a long way there.
Back in the AEST days.
Yeah, Izzy and Grant.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Grant has left this world as we know it.
Yeah, it's very sad.
I had a lot of fun times with Grant. Quite a few of them illegal, but very fun all the same. And that was my first cover band. We used to play at the Brickmakers Arms in Essendon, and the first gig we did was the Golden Fleece on Montague Street. Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. So again, very thankful for the opportunities because I don't think I don't know what would have happened without those couple of little intros. So
yeah. Look, sometimes you get pushed forward, don't you? More than necessarily reach out and grab it. And I think we can talk about that in another instance a little bit later in another band you're currently in that the same sort of story happened. It was a case of who knows who, and a certain person that thought he had a band and he was the band, right? But we'll talk about that one in a minute. So
that didn't exist, yeah.
That's right. So covers versus originals. At what kind of age was it? Just covers for you, and for how long? And then at what age did you sort of originals, and I know jazz was an inspiration of yours as well. And where did that kind of start to twist in?
What was the first cover? I've
So
been doing
playing covers, yeah.
covers since the beginning. So I was, what was it, end of 98, 99, when I moved to Melbourne, and started not long after that. So just doing covers and stuff. I've never had a problem with it. There can be a bit of a divide, but I think if there are already great songs in the world, why not play them? Especially if you can believe the song and just, give it some beans and make it your own kind of thing without, being disrespectful to the original.
Yep.
And I'd much rather sing cover songs than do another job that I don't love. And I love singing. So I have written some stuff. I was co-writing an album with Bob Spencer a few years ago. At the time, though, I just bought my first house and was renovating and getting pregnant and doing stuff like that. And I had to bow out, unfortunately, which is, I can't kick myself because there was very good reason at the time, but I was just a bit overworked. So I got some credits on a couple of the songs, so that's really good. Sometimes I write now, but I very rarely finish anything. So I just look at it as therapy. Maybe that's my next thing.
Writing some and playing some originals.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times. Like when I was at uni, I had to do a recital and I did a couple of originals, and they actually went okay. So maybe I should actually finish them and or revisit
Absolutely.
them. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there'd be a lot of people that follow you, Laura, and have seen you in different bands and different setups. And I think there'd be a lot of people that'd love to hear some originals from you for sure. So don't leave it too long.
They're pretty dark. They're pretty dark.
Okay.
I've got to say.
Dark's good. Dark works.
That's okay.
Yeah, they're extremely dark, actually. But yeah, maybe that's this year. I don't know. Yeah.
So speaking of covers,
yep.
I don't know if this is where it started, but this is definitely one of the versions. Tell us a little bit about this beautiful photo.
It's definitely not where it started. I've been going for almost a decade by this point, but
You had, yep.
it's probably the most fun tribute show I've done. I don't know, that one in particular is with, not to drop names or anything, but I'm going to with Dave Leslie from the Baby Animals. We only ever did that gig to get, pretty good guitarist. I've been probably to 12 or 13 countries with Bjôrn Again, including the first stint I did was a month in Johannesburg at one particular theatre, the Lyric Theatre at Gold Reef Casino or something like that. That was an experience I will definitely never forget. I loved every second of it, even the scary bits. So as bad as its reputation can be, we met some of the most beautiful and hospitable people ever. Certainly an experience I'll never forget.
Well, it's definitely been one of those bands and definitely one of those covers versions of that's swept the world. And I don't think there's a country that hasn't kind of embraced it, to be honest.
No, of course not.
ABBA in multiple formats.
The songs are incredible. It's Bjôrn Again is done really well. Like, they're not taking the piss out of the artist. It's a parody, so it's entertaining, but they're paying respect to it and doing the music really well. And the music in itself is no mean feat. It's I had no idea how intricate those songs were until I had to actually learn them, and my respect just grew tenfold. So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And let's talk about another one of those tribute bands. This one's a little bit big era. This one, they were massive at the time. So Spice Girls were big and reformed recently. Well, partly reformed anyway.
Did they? I've got no idea what's going on. I should watch your show.
They played one or two gigs. They haven't come on our show, that's for sure. But
no, but I mean, you guys talk about what's been happening.
Tell us a little bit about. Yeah, we have. Tell us a little bit about that and the difference in the two groups.
Well, that was born from the same manager. So John Tyrrell, who owns Bjôrn Again, was having a bit of a think about who he had on his staff, I should say, or who he knew singer-wise. And I live in tracksuit pants, and I wear a ponytail all the time. So he was like, well, that's Sporty taken care of. And the other girls, just everyone, he just sort of had the characters. So yeah, and we did a few shows at the corner and it packed out. It actually went really well for a while, and then just I think maybe we were a bit early. I think we were like a year too early starting with it. I don't know.
Well, what year are we talking? Because are you ever too early for that? I mean, it was a bit of one of those classic things that people didn't say they listened to it, but they were so catchy, their songs.
They knew the song. I think the other thing, actually, thinking about the comparison, the formula's right there. You can do a parody of Spice Girls without taking the mick out of them. The one difference was they actually have so many ballads. So to play to an audience that are having a few drinks and want to dance, we did find it tricky to fill out the set list with dance tunes, which ABBA have in spades. So maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. Maybe we should have just done techno versions of all the ballads to make it work. Hopefully we'll revisit it one day again. Please, John Tyrrell, that would be so much fun.
Look, it's great to have those kind of opportunities to tour different parts of the world too, in amongst that.
I consider myself probably the luckiest person ever. I'm just so happy with my working life. I feel a bit wanky saying career, but I have made a living out of it, and people occasionally say, "Oh, why don't you? Have you ever considered doing your music seriously?" And I'm like, "Well, I do. I just don't. My measure of success is being able to sing songs for people and enjoying it. Done. It's I'm really lucky. So thank you to all the people that have helped get me there and come to the shows, because
you're right. And I can't wait to get you back out there, Laura. And obviously tomorrow night is your little intro in, and by 9 o'clock start, meaning you're home in bed before the madness happens, right? Not like the good old days.
Oh no, 9 o'clock start. No, the gig starts at 9:30 tomorrow night. So I'll be.
But you'll be done by midnight, right?
I'll be done at 12:30 because you got to stay for the countdown.
You're there for the cake. No worries.
Yes. Have an extra latte or something to push me through. There's nothing. It's not like the old days, kids. It's just
no. You're very much right there. So let's use that as a bit of a segue into the next song, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Let's see what have you got for us.
As always, I don't know if you heard over the crackling, but this is one of my best friends, Andrew Leach, who lives just down the road in Yarraville. We met because we were in a Blues Brothers tribute show many, many moons ago. It'll be getting up to 20 years.
Yeah, nearly.
Soon, yeah. And then became fast friends. And one night, sitting around Hack and Arnie Wibb's piano after having some drinks and stuff, we decided to record ourselves doing interesting versions of songs. And this is the first one we did was this. So I'm not going to intro what the song is. You have to guess. Baby, you were always gonna be the one. You only ever did it just for fun, 'cause you run paradise. Jenny, I'll meet you at the grocery store, but you don't need a friend when you can score, 'cause you run paradise. Johnny, we were always best of friends, stick together and defend, 'cause you were on paradise. Ooh, and mama, worry about me anymore when I see you crying at the door. 'Cause I run to paradise. That's right, they had it all worked out. We were young and blind and you could never do wrong. That's right, they were so surprised. They opened their eyes up, opened their eyes up. You don't want anyone, you don't want anyone. Don't tell me this is paradise. Do that again. Yeah. You don't want anyone. You don't want anyone. Don't tell me this is paradise. Good times. Why'd I let them slip away? Why'd I let them slip away? 'Cause I run to paradise. Run to paradise. 'Cause I lived in paradise. Jesus says it's gonna be alright. It's gonna pat my back so I can walk in the light. You don't mind if I abuse myself so I can hold my head up. Hold my head up. You don't want anyone. You don't want anyone. Don't tell me this is paradise. You don't want anyone. You don't want anyone. You don't want anyone. You don't want anyone.
Beautiful. Once again.
Frozen chicken.
Fantastic,
in
Laura.
5. Thanks.
What a great choir boys classic.
Never ever thought I'd hear the choir boys like that. That's amazing.
That was born out of a massive night, can I just say? Like, I'd love to be able to air the original recordings from that night, but I just can't do it. Yeah. So Andrew is an incredible musician, trombone player, head of music at Westbourne, and just an all-round great guy. So we love working together, and we've put out some really cool stuff over the years. We just need to do more of it, that's all.
Yeah, one thing I absolutely love is covers, but a different twist on them, right? A different way to play them, or a different tempo, or different setup. And I think that's something that artists can do a lot more of as well. And I think that was a beautiful take on it. Beautiful take.
Yeah, we like that. We like that version.
Yep, definitely.
Quite
Lovey, I know you got a question.
Yeah, I have. So we've gone, Olivia Newton-John have an AC/DC sign in the background. So it seems like you've done it all. I guess my question would be, if you, and we can go to Andrew as well if you like, if you guys ever thought of going stage or musicals, have you ever thought about doing the singing in musicals? Have you already done that, or like stage plays and all that sort of thing?
Did you say musicals, as in musical theatre?
Yeah.
Andrew's done tons of it. I wish I had have done more of it. Oh, I wish I had have done some when I was younger, because I'm probably a bit over the hill now. But do you want to?
I did. Yeah, in my younger days, I did musically direct quite a few musicals, but then sort of grew out of that yeah, that kind of thing. Felt it was a lot of work for not a lot of reward. They were great fun at the time.
Yeah.
It's a thing you do in your 20s and have a really great time.
When you've got energy.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you got
I really regret not doing it. And if everyone's looking for an ordinary-ish singer who's just turned 40, I'm your girl.
You're still young at 40, don't you worry. You're talking to a 44-year-old, so that's fine. The only other question I've got, what's your favourite venue you guys have ever performed at? Either of you, or together, or whatever. What's your very favourite venue you guys have ever performed at?
Oh, God.
Oh, you played in bigger venues than I have.
Oh, where?
I knew I'd make it work this time of night, Aaron. I knew I'd make it work.
Huh?
I knew I'd make your brain work a little bit with that question.
Yeah, it's not hard to make my brain work, in all fairness.
The SB front bar would be up there, I reckon.
SB front bar, pretty good. You could, yeah, it's pretty balls to the wall. Everyone's up for a good time. Doesn't matter if you're wearing a business suit or a double denim or a wedding dress. Sort of pretty great. I'm just trying to think. Boogie Festival at Tallarook that ACDSHE did was probably that was really exciting, actually. The Gov in Adelaide last year with Bob Starkey's Skyhooks show. That was pretty sensational. Sorry, I know this is more than one, and the caravan clubs and hello, you saucy minx. The Flying Saucer clubs and the caravan clubs, they were pretty incredible reactions too, just for different reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Did I answer
Right.
the question at all?
SP front bar is hard to beat, but I know one place that probably does beat it, and that's a good segue into the band that we discussed before that wasn't a band that became a band. It had a different edge to it and had a female lead singer, being yourself, with Bonnie Scott, and play at the Cherry Bar in ACDC Lane.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty awesome time, eh? To have a female, and you're not the only female ACDC cover band, but you're the only female lead, right? There are females singing in another all-female band, but as far as I know,
in America.
Yep.
There is another one in Melbourne now. I'm not going to talk about that.
Yep.
She's a great
We
singer.
won't talk about that.
Good, great girl actually. But why give the free press?
Right.
But I think we were one of the first ones for that in Australia anyway, for that full rock kind of thing. Anyway, we've been together for 14 years now. I have thought about hanging up my gloves many a time for various reasons, but it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, there's no doubt when I seen those gigs, and obviously been a couple of mates of mine in that band, it's all about energy, right? And it's all about the crowd just love it. Right from that first note, it's just on, right? And it's such a great time, such a great gig. I know you feel that energy and you play off that a lot. And it's a good mate of mine and mate of yours, AK, who was the original band in his own right. I have to tell this quick story. He came to us, and I've done a lot of work with AK, and he came to us and said, I've got this band, play AC/DC covers. I said, oh, great, no problem. And a good mate of mine, James, will test to this, and he knew James played guitar, and he said, oh, mate, do you want to play? And James goes, mate, I don't play. I don't play for anyone. And it's like, oh, fair enough. And that's kind of what James is like. Great guitarist, but doesn't want to play in front of anyone. And so he decided that he was going to continue with his band as AK does. And he said, mate, you don't know a drummer, do you? And we said, well, yeah, we do actually. So righto, we sorted that part. And he said, mate, you don't know a bass guitarist there. And it's like, right, so where's this kind of going? Yeah. And then I think he left it a few days and came back to us and said, you don't know a singer, do you? I said, mate, how's this band going? Like, there's not much of a band here. Anyway, we kind of put the whole original lineup together, and we said, well, we kind of do know a singer, but could be a really cool angle. She's a cool chick, and she would do it, but you got to convince her. So it wasn't your deal at the time. We kind of threw it at you and threw you in the mix. And as I said before, sometimes you get pushed something and you don't necessarily look for it or reach for it, and look where it is after all these years and still playing in this lineup.
Yeah. Well, when I heard it was Bon Scott era, because that's what we didn't cover Brian Johnson originally. I was in fling for Bon Scott. I love the newer stuff. It just hurts a bit more. So I was so young there. I nearly wore that top tonight. Weird. Oh, and that one. That was next on my list.
Yep.
I went with Mickey Mouse instead of it. It was an obvious choice.
So you've played many gigs with ACDC. Have you got? Out of all those, have you got one that was a really memorable one?
That Boogie Festival. See Beaker up on the stage?
Yeah.
Yep. And that was the night I met Bon's son, Dave Stevens. He's standing right next to me in the middle there, and he was trying to tell me who he was over the band playing. And I'm like, sorry, dude, I can't hear you. He'd had a few as well. Didn't help. And then when the music stopped, he said, I'm Bon's son. And I burst into tears. And then we went backstage, and I basically just couldn't. I was just like, don't know what to say.
Yeah, pretty special moment, eh?
Yeah, that was that Tallarook Boogie Festival that I was talking about. It was just such an awesome crowd reaction. I think being the only cover band at a festival gave us a bit of a leg up, but it was great staging, great production, beautiful setting. It's on a farm, and just people in weird outfits, and just was awesome.
Yeah, and speaking of loving you guys, obviously AC/DC Lane, the old Cherry Bar. No one loved you guys more than James Young, and to get you guys on stage, he absolutely loves you guys, right? Actually,
yeah. Well, that Boogie Festival gig came through him, so yeah, same. But yeah, the Cherry Bar gigs have been a bit special as well. One of them was the hottest I've ever been in my life. I think it was there last night. It was just so hot. I thought we were all going to die.
Now, is that right? You played the last gig?
Played the last gig, and then we played the last gig again when they.
Oh, that's right.
They were still paying rent, or still paying for the lease, so they were like, "Let's just do another one." Oh, it's like he's doing the Limbo.
So had a few different people come through the band over time. Another friend of yours, Dale Seeger, kicked it off originally. Who you played in a blues band with originally as well.
Yeah.
Mate, boy, could that boy play the guitar?
Yeah, sensational. And pull some massive jumps and stuff too. His antics on stage were quite fun. We've been mates for a long time. I haven't seen him for a long time, and I'm sorry for that, Dale. But we toured overseas together, just doing a duo. We're told by some Irish backpackers that we met at McMahon's in Spencer Street that we'd kill it over there. So we recorded a crappy little demo and grabbed our sleeping bags and took off. And didn't go so well at first. And then we just met an agent who loved us and booked us silly. So we've had Dale and I have had some great times together too.
Yeah, absolutely. Another mate of yours, Mel, he was a bass player at one stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going back. That was the original.
Yeah, well, there was a bass player before him, but I don't know what happened. I don't know. He got sacked.
He might have been the one guy AK put in the band. He didn't last long.
I think it was.
Yeah.
We had a drummer too. We've had a few drummers, but the first drummer insisted on bringing a double kick and not wearing shoes, and his feet really smelt, and it just didn't work out, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was the current lineup at one stage, or not long ago, and I think it's had a few tweaks since then, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's Dave Beaton on the bass. I think his original band, Saragon, is his main claim to fame. He's in an awesome film clip with Carly Jewell, which is it's a really great original song. Sid and Nancy Love or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's rocking. And Dave's just got a great energy on stage. Yeah, he's super fun to have around. And Nick on the lead guitar, he's just a Greek god.
Yeah, that boy can play as well, for sure. But,
yeah. The chicks
so
hate him.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, let's kind of change tact and change genre a little bit and to a completely different and probably one of your last or recent cover tribute shows that you've been doing. And let's move back to the Carpenters. This has had amazing reviews, and everyone I know that I pushed to go and see you guys, I know came back and said, mate, that was amazing. So hats off to you, Laura, and Wolfie obviously as well. And just a little side note, Wolfie's coming on next week to be our special guest, so that'll be great to get Wolfie on. He's got a lot to talk about. He's about as diverse as you are. Although he does play the one instrument, he does so much more than that with his bands that he's in. So little highlight to Wolfie.
Character too. Like I love watching him play. He just puts everything into it, and yeah, he's super.
Yep, absolutely.
We talked about the Carpenters thing for years. It's something I've always wanted to do, but listening to the originals, there's so much in them. There's just so much in them, and I didn't know if I could pull it off live, but it's going really well. Actually, should start looking at gigs again for that. I should really do something.
Yeah.
It's almost like I'm not letting go of being in lockdown quite yet.
Sure. Look, you're right though. It's been hard because we've had that kind of such a long lockdown period, and then it's kind of changed and it opened up, and then before you know it, it's Christmas, right? So everyone's like, oh, I wouldn't mind a break. And it's like, oh, so what have you guys been doing? Haven't you had a break? And the people have got no idea outside of Melbourne what we've actually really gone through.
No.
Adelaide had a 3-day lockdown. Sydney have had a partial kind of few postcode lockdowns, and that's about it.
Right.
No one's got really any idea outside of Victoria. It wasn't a time we want to go back to. So
it was pretty full on. I've got to say, especially in the colder months, you know, especially when the kinders, you know, had to be just for essential workers, children of essential workers, which I totally understand. But being inside a house that's, you know, I'm trying to renovate with a 4-year-old who's quite energetic, some of the days were pretty long, I must say. There was a lot of screen time. I'm not going to lie. I used the phone. Some of the days were long. There were a lot of good things. It's made me slow down a bit, which I needed to do, and reprioritise, I guess. But I am keen to get back into some shows, and I've done, like I said, I've done a handful already, and that's good. But I think it's just made me realise what I want to do and what I don't really need to do anymore.
Yep. Yeah, well, it can definitely do that. Simplify a lot of things. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Cut out a lot of that. Cut out a lot of that waste. The things we don't need, things we don't. And it's amazing how little you can actually get away with these days, and how much we over-engineer our lives, I guess. Yeah. But I have to touch on this one, and I'll just swing back to it. Was this gig? This was Hamer Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about that, because that's a pretty cool moment. It's a great pick.
It's a great moment. I think there were 66 guitarists on stage, and the Rock Whiz Orchestra were the backing band behind all those guitars. They this dude called Joff, and someone else put it on. I can't remember. Sorry about that. But it's called Those Who Rock. So they just got different areas of Melbourne together, and they did individual performances, and then they asked me to headline it, doing For Those About to Rock by AC/DC. And they had, who else? They had Vicar and Linda, Ella Hooper, Adelita. So I was like sharing a dressing room with Ella and Adelita, and I was just sort of like, hi. It was a pretty cool moment.
Pretty big talent there for sure.
Yeah. And that was my first confetti cannon in the background. So that was definitely a tick from the bucket list.
Yes, absolutely. They're great moments. So I'd seen the AC/DC thing done before, not necessarily with all guitarists on stage, but they did it from a whole drummer's point of view. And they had a drummer. So that was kind of very different. So to see people of all, many ages there too, by the look of it, that's pretty cool.
It was really good. I remember back when I was studying music, they had like this guitar group, which we used to call Guitarchestra, and it was awful listening to that many electric guitars plugged in, and the tuning was always off and stuff, but they did this really well. I think there's some clips on YouTube and stuff if you've got absolutely nothing better to do. And it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yep. So you mentioned before about gigs coming up. Have you?
Yep.
You're back on the horse there, or just looking, or what's going to happen into January? Or are you just going to slowly ease in?
I've got a few later in the month. There was a bit of a rush when we first came out of lockdown, but then January can be a quiet month for musos at times. So, got a couple Australia Day weekend and Arco Bar on the 22nd. So I don't think I've got anything before then. I'm sure I have been in the habit of saying yes lately and just taking it with a grain of salt because I didn't know if we were actually going to be allowed. So I should check my messages and go back. If anyone has booked me for something this month, please make contact.
Yeah, that's right. You preferably hope it's not a gig for
the
Let's not forget that gig tomorrow night. I have got it here somewhere.
Yeah.
I think this is it. That's the one.
Sure. Yeah, I've had a few burgers since then.
That's all right. Get the black tea out, Laura, like we all are. You'll find me in black most times.
That particular shirt probably wouldn't fit over one of my legs now, but that's okay. Should come with a disclaimer that objects may appear larger in real life.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So why don't we kick it off with one last one, Laura, to finish off with, if that's all right. It's been great having you on, Laura. I chased you down and hassled you for many a week and month, and I know it was crazy times for a lot of people, but it's just great to have you on.
I'm blessed with one of those children that doesn't sleep, so this would have been a nightmare if he was here. I love him, but man, he's next level. So he's in Queensland on holidays for 2 weeks. So I'm just doing whatever I like basically. Should we do another jazzy one, or should we do Superstar?
Let's not do that one.
Okay.
No, let's not do that.
When I get low?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, I'm going to do a real.
Let's do that.
It's an actual jazz song, not the one that we've changed into a jazz song. So it's an Ella Fitzgerald song called "When I Get Low, I Get High."
Fantastic. So once again, thanks for coming on, guys. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thanks for having us. Are we after this song?
Yep, we're all good. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Fur coat, so low, they ain't cold, but I'm not gonna holler, 'cause I still got $1 when I get low. Whoa, I get high. A man walked down, now you know it ain't right. Well, he better watch out if I meet him tonight, and then when I get low. Whoa, I get high. Oh, this hard luck in this town has found me. Nobody knows the trouble goes round and round me. Whoa, I'm all alone with no one to help me. That old rocking chair ain't never gonna get me, 'cause when I get low, whoa, I get high. Now my daddy said, baby, now you better think twice about loving that man, 'cause he don't treat you right on the wall. Love at me, all it was right. I said, now my man walked down, now you know that ain't right, but you better watch out if I meet him tonight, and then when I get low, whoa, I get high. Oh, this hard luck in this town has found me. Nobody knows I get low. Whoa, I get high. Man walked down, now you know that ain't right. Well, you better watch out if I meet him tonight. And then when I get low, whoa, I get high. Man walked out, now you know that ain't right. You better watch out if I meet him tonight. And then when I get low, whoa, I get high. Said all this I like in this town has found me. Nobody knows trouble goes round and round me. Oh, I'm all alone, baby, wanna get me. That old rocking chair ain't never gonna get me. 'Cause when I get low, whoa, I get high. I said now when I get low, whoa, I get high. And now baby, when I get low, whoa, I get high. It's been a while since I got high. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for coming over.
See you guys.
How good was that, Lovey?
Wow. It's not my. Oh, who's this guy? It's not my genre per se, but what a talent! What an amazing woman, an amazing talent. You tuck in the fact that she's also a mother. To the amount of things that she's had to do over the years, and still looking to be as energetic as that. That's pretty good. She's a pretty special sort of person, I'd suggest.
Yeah, super diverse talent too. You can see why I fought to try and get her on. Took me months of not so much hounding her, and I knew she had a busy life and very active child as well. Single mum, so doing all those things. It's hard to build the rest of your career around that, and music being one. Hence I should have brought it up before, the pool room behind me, mate. It was important that we went straight to the pool room tonight because we brought a great act, no doubt. So, Cuz, thanks for finally jumping on again. I know the internet's dodgy down there, mate, so appreciate you pushing through.
Mate, okay.
You might have to put an antenna on that caravan, mate.
I was just going to ask you, is Jack out on the top of the roof of the caravan just holding up a coat hanger or something? Is he, or?
No, Jack, Jody, and Lucas have left me in disgust because I've chosen the podcast over family time, and the way the podcast went from my end was disgraceful. Couldn't get a connection, in and out. But what I heard of Laura, as you said, Lovey, what an amazing performer first and an amazing lady second. Just obviously a single mum and the trials and tribulations that brings along, but to have the career she's had, very talented lady.
Yeah,
definitely. So we won't go on for too long. I know we'll cut out a bit of that crackling and terribleness at the start, but I'm glad we got through it, Lovey, because that was audio people needed to hear, and I know some of her friends and family and stuff that jumped on. She's an honour to have as part of your family. I'm sure she's a superstar. She will be around for a long time, and hopefully we're playing originals soon, as she touched on, because she's too good a talent to not play her own music as well.
I'd love to see her do that, but I'm more than happy. I'm going to go and pay for the next gig that she has in 2021. I've got no doubt. That's just go and watch her just for the sake of the fact that that's what she does. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, well, I know when you hear about Brett Wolfenden next week, Wolfie, another friend of ours and a friend now of the show, he'll be on next week, and he'll talk about some bands and lineups and stuff that he's in. And obviously he's the drummer in that in this gig for the Carpenters. So I know you're probably not a Carpenters fan, mate, but you'd be surprised how many songs you know, Lovey, that you played softly in the background over the years, mate. You've heard them, so you'll be surprised. So maybe we we'll find the next time that they perform a gig and maybe get there. But I'm sure an ACDC gig, an ACDC gig, will be one that might be on your list as well.
Mate, I'm a very open-minded individual when it comes to that stuff. So bring it on.
Perfect. Look forward to it. All right. Thanks, guys. Brent Wolfenden for next week. Wolfie, as he's affectionately known, played in a few bands, plays in many bands. We'll feature that next week, and I can't wait to talk to Wolfie. Cheers, boys. Have a good night.
Take it easy. Have a
Yeah,
good
boys.
New Year's.
Ta-da. Bye.
Good New Year's.
You too. Bye-bye.
See you next week, mates.